All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome, including those joining us virtually, to the first meeting of the HHS Chairs of Audit Committee and Chief Finance Officers. I'm Damon Olive, the Sector Director for Health here at QAO. The fact that all HHSs are represented here today, either in the room or joining us via the webcast, reflects to me the value that you see in this forum. Based on your input, I believe we've designed a forum that will realise this potential. Firstly, this morning, you'll hear from a number of QAO staff on topical issues aimed at improving financial reporting and the respective roles that ARC chairs and CFOs play. We'll break for morning tea. We'll break for morning tea and then transition to the roundtable discussion, where our virtual attendees will transfer to a teleconference at this point. So what are we covering today? Well, each year all public sector entities grapple with the concept of fair value and the need to ensure that their assets materially reflect fair value at balance date. For a HHS, this typically means assessing value based on depreciated replacement cost, either through independent valuation or via the use of indices. But what specific information and assurances should you seek to reduce the risk of a material misstatement around this subjective and often most material component of your financial statements? AASB 1055 budgetary reporting has effect this year, but what practical guidance is available in implementing the new standard? And as an ARC member, what should you be expecting to see in this disclosure? These questions we'll answer today. Simplifying financial reports, making them more readable to users. This topic's been on the radar for the International Accounting Standard Setters, for several years, but only in December last year did they release their disclosure initiative. In Australia, this translated to AASB standard amendments in January to give this effect. While often financial statement preparers have gone for the kitchen sink approach, disclose everything regardless of materiality, and auditors are contributors to the growth in financial statement disclosure, late last year the Auditor General at the IAG conference down at the Gold Coast put out the challenge to those representatives and then to his own staff to embrace the opportunity to declutter financial reports and to allow the key messages, the ones relevant to a user's decision making, to be seen. The responsibility for preparation of the financial statements remains with management, but this is an area that we want to work with you on improving, and today we'll look at where to start this simplification journey. Nationally, activity-based funding came into effect on 1 July 2014 and will be an audit focus this year across the states and territories, with the National Pool Administrator demanding quality over the underlying activity data, which forms the basis of Commonwealth funding to the states. For most HHSs, the underlying activity data drives the revenue that you receive, or at least a portion of it, and this morning we'll look at the importance of the activity data and pose some questions about assurances you might seek. Following the morning tea break, we'll hand the reins over to you all to raise issues in the roundtable discussion, where you can share your experiences, insights, challenges with your peers. Now, for the benefit of our virtual attendees, below me, on your screen, you'll see that there's a speech bubble. You can click here to pose a question at any time. Just fill out the details, including your email address, and click send. We'll have a session for questions just prior to the morning tea break, where your questions, as well as those in the room, will be taken and responded to. Now, just in terms of housekeeping, if I could ask, we could reach for our phones and switch them to silent at this point. And the bathrooms, for your information, are out the doors and down the corridor to the left, just past the glass entry door. Now, I'd like to welcome our first speaker this morning, Rachel Vagg, Director of Specialist Audit Services, to get our first session underway. Thank you.